Yo, what's up everybody? It's Connor from Unscripted, back again with another video. In today's video, I'm sort of giving my thoughts and my takeaways from CDL Stage 2 Week 3. And as always, I will be doing it off the script. So before we get into the video, don't forget to drop a like on the video if you enjoy. Subscribe to the channel if you are enjoying the CDL content. And leave a comment down below in the comment section as well with your thoughts on the action from this past weekend. We are 2 subscribers away from my next goal of 50 subscribers. So if you could help me out, give me those extra 2 subscribers, I would greatly appreciate it. And let's jump right into the video. So as you see on screen here are the standings following week 3 of stage 2. And it was a crazy week, no doubt about that. We can go over here to the matches and see some of what went down. Minnesota ROKKR, the new Minnesota ROKKR, funny enough, a team that I was down on after their substitution they made. They ended up coming out on fire this weekend, beating OpTic 3-0 and beating Dallas 3-2 as well. OpTic, of course, lost 6 maps to 0 in their 2 series weekend, so that was obviously a big surprise there. The LA Thieves got smoked this weekend. There's a lot of stuff to talk about for sure, and just sort of my takeaways and what I expect moving forward from here. So like I said, here are the standings. The big takeaway for sure is OpTic Chicago falling to 1-2, and they might be on the outside looking in for a winner's bracket spot at the second major. They play Seattle and Dallas yet, so 2 teams above them in the standings right now. 2 teams that they need to win both of those matches, I think, to get a winner's bracket spot. Just bad play from OpTic right now. They just don't look like they're fundamentally sound. They struggle in control recently. They can't ever stack the point. It seems to get 4 down and nobody stacks the point. They're struggling in their hard points. Their search is still not very good. They all around are sloppy right now, and it's showing in their results. I mean, like I said, 1-2. They lost their past 6 maps combined. What can you say? 2 3-0s in one weekend is not a good sign for a team who was expected to be one of the top 3 or 4 teams in the CDL. Yeah. Then on the flip side, you have the LA Thieves over there sitting down at 1-3 in Group A. I mean, what a bad weekend for them, too. They got completely embarrassed by the Atlanta FaZe. That was like one of the most lopsided series I think I've ever seen. They just had nothing for FaZe at all in that series. They just got smoked. They're now 1-3. I don't think they even can get a winner's bracket spot in Group A, so they will be in the loser's bracket, I'm pretty sure, because the best they can do is 2-3. And even if London lost out and finished 2-3, they already beat LA Thieves, so LA will lose the tiebreaker. So regardless, it just depends what seed they'll be, but they will be in the losers bracket. Not a lot going for them. You know, it's funny. Unlike Minnesota, who had a good substitution that I thought was a bad one, I thought LA Thieves made the right call by benching Temp, switching to Venom, and it hasn't made a difference. You know, they have not been any better. They're not really. They may be a little bit worse, but they're just not a good team right now. I don't know what the problem is with them. I think Slasher, his style of play is sort of getting phased out a little bit, so I think that could be a problem. He just, that slow, hold the anchor, play the spawns kind of AR, it's just not what the top team is doing right now. I mean, look at Atlanta FaZe. They have just these talented ARs who can fly around the map. Same with Dallas. I mean, Crim6 plays slow, but, you know, he's just amazing. He's one of the best of all time. Octane, he's playing well right now, but guys like Awakening, just those more aggressive ARs who are having more success right now. Paul X, another great example of that, so you see those slow ARs getting phased out a little bit. I wonder if what's next with Slasher, if he can sort of change his play style. But the LA Thieves just are not looking good right now. Their inconsistency is their big thing. They have not been consistent at all. Kenny's been all over the place. Some decent maps, some really bad maps. Venom, he's came in and probably is their best player already. TJ, he's been down after having a decent start to Cold War. He had a pretty good stage 1, not so much anymore. Slasher, not the same, like I was saying. They're a mess. I don't even know what position Draza plays. Honestly, I don't, but they might want to get him in there somewhere. He played well at the end of Modern Warfare last year, and their run they made it champs, or the run they almost made it champs. So maybe you want to see Draza in there somewhere. I don't know, but whatever. They need to change for sure. They're one of the premier organizations in the league, and they're bad. I honestly think they play LAG this coming weekend, and I think the loser of that map, I think it's safe to say, is the worst team in the league right now. I think with the resurgence we've seen from London and Seattle, I think those 2 teams could be considered the worst in the league. They just are not looking sharp. That's how I feel about the LA Thieves. Other takeaways, I think, like I just said, I mean, shout out to Seattle and London. Seattle came out yesterday on Sunday in a series I thought they'd lose, honestly, to the Paris Legion here. Can you see that? Yes, you can. Okay, I've got to see if you could see that. So you see the 3-0 result. That was a surprising result for me. Seattle has been inconsistent. They've been straight up bad in Season 1. Now they're getting a little better here into Season 2 or Stage 2. But they still aren't the best search team. They really are bad at control. They're a decent hardpoint team, but they came out and they smoked Paris. They handled their business pretty well. They looked good in the search. They dominated the control 3-0, which was the biggest surprise for me just because I think Seattle had one win on control so far this year until then. So Paris, man, they're a team that I think they could be looking to make a roster change. I think Fire has not been it when he was moved to the sub. He ain't it. He hasn't been playing well on the submachine gun role at all. He was better suited as a flex, in my opinion. I know Scraps is also better suited as a flex, it seems like to me. He's just so versatile. He can run whatever and run it well. So if I'm the Paris Legion, I'm looking to the challenger seed. I'm looking at Saints. I'm looking at, who am I forgetting? I can't think of his name now. Spart, I think, does he run an SMG? Whoever. Just somebody. They need an SMG, basically is what I'm getting at. I would go with Saints, but there's a couple other SMGs and challengers that are good as well. I think if they can get somebody in there for Fire right now, he's only 18. I think he will be good in the future, but right now something's off with him, whether it's his confidence, whether it's his teamwork with his teammates, whatever it is. He's not looking sharp, and they are a team who otherwise has been, other than him, the team has been pretty consistent. Not that they're a great team, but the other three guys are pretty consistent. You know what you're going to get from them for the most part. So if they can get somebody in there to play the more consistent SMG role, maybe help them out and search a little bit, what Saints definitely would do, I think that would be beneficial to them. So Paris, definitely one of the big losers from the weekend for sure. What else? London, shout out to them, playing well. New York, they're looking sharp. That's a team who, I thought, I made a bold predictions video. It's funny, when I was making those bold predictions, I was between two teams I thought were going to flop this stage. I was between the Subliners and the Thieves. And unfortunately, I chose the Subliners instead of the Thieves. But New York they're proving me wrong for sure. They're a team who played well in stage one. As we all know, they finished third at the major, and I kind of thought that was luck, and it wasn't going to be sustainable for them. I thought they would come back down to earth a bit in stage two, and especially when the XM4 was GA'd, I thought, I think that's going to affect New York more than most teams. I thought that, we know they were a team who would use 4 XM4s at times. Clay was playing really good with it. Diamond Com was playing great with it as well. So it was a team who used that gun a lot and used it well, and I thought maybe that would slow them down, not being able to use that gun, but it has not. They've been looking sharp. Their only loss this stage was the 3-1 to the FaZe, which I think was last week. It's not here. Let's find out. Yeah, right there. They kicked off. That's right. They kicked off the Toronto home series. So, that was a close series. It was 3-1, but the maps were close. Could have went either way. New York, I think, is comfortably team number 3 right now. I do. I think they're better than OpTic. What else can you say? When they beat OpTic, a lot of people thought, well, OpTic just smoked them too, so it's probably a fluke. I still think OpTic's better. I was one of those people. I thought that despite the 3-0 loss in the most important match of the two, OpTic 3-0 New York 3-0 them back in a more important match, but I thought, OpTic's still better. They'll get them next time. But right now, I would pick New York if these two teams played for sure. New York they're looking consistently solid. OpTic is struggling. So shout out to New York. They're playing well. They will be. Did they play London yet? Is the question for grouping. Because if they played London, then they're almost guaranteed to be the 2 seed. Yeah, they did. They beat them. Okay, they beat them in this. So yeah. They're going to be the 2 seed, I think. Even if they go 3-2, I guess London could maybe pass them. Technically, yeah, I guess London could pass them, but it's unlikely. So New York's probably going to be the 2 seed in their group. Good stuff from them, Like I said, a little bit of a surprise to me. This group I thought was a bit of a toss-up, and sort of teams 2 through 5 would be up for debate, but it seems like it's comfortably New York's right now at number 2. So that's good for them. They're playing well. I'm happy for those guys. They were not expected to be good. I predicted them to be the worst team in the league, actually, to start the year. So I was wrong, and I'll eat my words on that one. They are looking good. Other takeaways, Florida, they're looking solid. They're 2-1 right now. They would be in the winner's bracket. They're a top 3 team for now in Group B, but they still do have 2 matches to come this coming week. I do not know who they play offhand, but I will check here. They play Dallas and they play Paris. So the way Paris is playing, Florida should be able to at least get to 3 wins. Maybe they won't beat Dallas, but if they finish 3-2, that is good for them after they struggled majorly at the first major. They underperformed in stage 1. I think we all agree to that, but right now they are looking much better. I think all 4 players for their team was positive against OpTic, which is a great thing because, Florida not a team that top to bottom is known for their slaying, especially Slacked, and even Skies this year hasn't been a super slayer like he was in previous years. So to see them be all positive against what was thought to be a pretty good slaying team, that was promising for them. Slacked picking it up, Skies picking it up. Awakening still their best player. That's not going to change. He's just phenomenal. He went huge against OpTic multiple times in multiple different maps. He's playing great. What can you say? Neptune, he's coming along well as well. So that's a good team, and that was one of my other bold predictions, actually, was that Florida would finish top 4 in this stage at the major, and it wouldn't surprise me right now. I think Atlanta, Dallas, New York are the top 3 teams. I'm not even sure who team number 4 is. Maybe Minnesota and Florida. Florida and OpTic right there in that 4 to 6 range. So Florida, they're looking good, man. They can surprise some teams if they can really keep their search going and keep it up in the slaying department like they were against OpTic. They will be good. So I covered most of the teams here. That's sort of what I think about all these teams after this week 3 of stage 2. This next week will be a big one in determining, of course, all the seeding for the first major or for the second major, which is shaping up to be a crazy one. You know, my big takeaway from everything is that right now it's FaZe here, Dallas here, everyone else. And when I say everyone else, I mean pretty much everyone else. Aside from like the LA teams, I think teams 3 through 10 are like interchangeable. Like on any given day, I think New York, who I think is probably team number 3, could lose to Toronto. They could lose to Paris. They could lose to OpTic, Minnesota, but they could beat all those teams too. Seattle right now, the way they're playing, they could obviously lose to these teams because they have in the past, but they're playing well right now. So it's a real toss-up right now, which is what you love to see. I think the meta change has made this a little bit more closer. Like I said, aside from FaZe, who look phenomenal, everybody else is close. They're on par with each other, and it is shaping up to be a good major. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like on the video. Leave a comment down below as well, and subscribe to the channel if you are new and enjoying the content. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you had a good day. Hope you enjoyed the Call of Duty this past weekend, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.